Sean Puffy Combs was arrested in the lobby of a Manhattan hotel on Monday, September 16th. Now, according to TMZ, he was supposed to be arrested on Tuesday, but something happened that caused them to move in a day early. But still, we have to ask ourselves, how did we get here, right? And why is he on the Undateable Me podcast? Because he is now at the top of the list of people the type of person you probably should not date. But I want to focus on the fact that has his federal indictment. And how did an unpaid intern who became a music industry executive, who became a rapper, producer, head of a label, prominent figure in hip hop, end up in cuffs and for the things that have been alleged? Now, P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, is responsible for bringing us folks like Notorious B.I.G, Faith Evans, Mace, Carl Thomas, Mario Winans, Total, 112, and so many more. And he was known for these lavish parties. The white party in the Hamptons was like the who's who of entertainment. Everybody was there. Parties got wild and stories started coming out about him. People were speaking up and lawsuits were coming.
And he's like, I'll give you $100,000 right now. You suck this nigga's dick right now.
I probably would have took that 100,000. But anyway, the lawsuits started coming as well, alleging abuse, right? And people were still supporting him, though, until Cassie filed her lawsuit in 2023, November of 2023, but it was settled the very next day. So in the court of public opinion, it was still a little iffy. It wasn't until May of 2024 when CNN released a video from that hotel allegedly showing Cassie leaving when she thought Diddy was asleep. And he wakes up, comes running down the hall wrapped in a towel, and attacks her. So finally now, the court of public opinion starts to sway. People started to believe it because now you see the proof. And in the months after her initial lawsuit, there were like a dozen other lawsuits that started to come out alleging abuse, members of Danity Kane and other folks as well. Now, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, tells TMZ, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community." He adds, he is an imperfect person, but is not criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he is voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. Why is he on this podcast? As we talk about dating and the struggles of dating, one of the biggest issues is, being in relationships that are not good for you. And as I think about the things that have been alleged by Cassie Ventura, other folks who have made allegations, there's possibly a little bit of narcissism here. We know he has an ego, or at least from my point of view, from what I can see when we look at him. So we want to make sure that folks are not falling into those types of traps. And when you do, that you have to find a way to get out of it. Cassie tried and finally did. You have to maybe put together a plan to get yourself out of those situations that are not good for you. We talked about on this channel, we talked about on this podcast once before how you need to fail faster. So if you found yourself in one of these situations, you need to cut it off. You need to get your shit and go. Wait until he is at work or she is at work. I mean, because abuse goes both ways. And then you get out of there. Take your children. You know, so many people get dependent financially on someone. There's support out there. Women's and children's shelters, family members. And you have to understand that a lot of times in abusive situations, they will try their best to alienate you from your family. You find yourself in a position where your family is like, you know, she doesn't even talk to us anymore or whatever. Another thing that we do that we really need to stop doing, we tell our business to the wrong folks. Not everybody can handle your business. I'm going to say that again. Everybody can't handle your business. You will share, you know, when you want to vent about what's going on in your life, you start to share those things with family and friends. He a dog, girl, or she's a dog, or she's out here doing this, you know, because men do the same thing. They vent to their family and friends and all of that as well. And then you, 2-3 weeks from now, have made up. So now he's sitting at the family reunion, cuddled up with you, and the whole family's ready to beat his ass. Looking at him, looking at the side of his head like he's crazy, right? But there you are, right back with him. Well, that's why therapy can come in so handy. It's such a useful tool because you get an opportunity to vent to someone who is objective, someone who is removed from your life. They don't have that emotional investment in your life, and they can provide you with an objective ear, objective guidance. So if you find that you are, because this is why we are talking about P. Diddy right now, if you find that you are entering into a relationship, let me tell you something. I used to work I had a colleague many, many years ago. She was an executive. I was not. And she was married to a very prominent, wealthy person. And I used to have to help her put on her makeup to help cover up the black eyes. Because that lifestyle that she wanted, it came with a cost. And by the way, I'm not one of the hair and makeup gays. So we did the best we could, but that's just not my call. So we patched her up as best we could so that she wouldn't be at work and people would know that, you know, her husband was beating the hell out of her. Now, she eventually got away and so on. And I would encourage you, if you are in that type of situation or you see the signs that it's going there, get out, walk away. You need to fail faster and move on. That lavish lifestyle is not worth you getting your ass whooped for it. Okay. Now, I don't know if the allegations about P. Diddy are true. Based on what I've seen and the stories that are out there, in my opinion, it probably is true. But we're going to let the courts decide that. He's been indicted, he's been arrested, and now the courts do what they do. How that ends, we just hope that justice is served, whatever that may entail. All right. I want to thank you for tuning in to this special edition of the Undateable Me podcast, where we just sort of dug in just a little bit into the Sean P. Diddy Combs situation, being arrested in Manhattan on Monday, September 16th. And we will then follow this a little bit just to see where this goes. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Those channel memberships are on their way, coming very soon, and I cannot wait to show you what we have in store for that. The Sock Mob is coming, baby. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting me.